so far, but like a dog biting a postie's leg, they're not giving up yet. It's 1-0 to Borough.
Hat-trick for Lee Hughes for Oldham. Looks like they're going to win away at Millwall. Shrewsbury 4, Dagenham and Redbridge 0. Points for Shrewsbury. Dagenham and Redbridge kicked off fourth bottom, in trouble. Back to the Barclays Premier League. Birmingham a single point above the relegation places ahead of today's game with Reading. Andrew James at St Andrews.
Right, it's Birmingham 1, Reading 1. These two sides would probably both consider themselves to be in the second league that goes on in the Premier League, just above the relegation zone. If either of these sides loses today, though, they'll probably find themselves in it. Birmingham took the lead early in the first half through Mikhail Forsell with a header at the far post. Reading took the lead, equalised early in the second with a Stephen Hunt penalty after he'd been brought down by Taylor, who'd been let down by a bad back pass from Sadler. It could still be anybody's game. Both sides have had chances. It's Birmingham 1, Reading 1.
Who knows what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes or so, but as far as the match at Wigan is concerned, 2 hat-tricks, a red card, referee at the centre of everything. It's been pretty dull, hasn't it?
You cannot take your eyes off it. Still, you can't take your eyes off it. Anything can happen. But I've got to say that Mark Clattenburg has never been in control of this fixture. He's made it, I suppose, a spectacle for all the wrong reasons that it has been. Mark Hughes, I can't wait to hear what he's going to say at the end of the game.
And for Manchester City to come from behind, if they keep their 100% record intact at the City of Manchester Stadium, to show such resilience will be terrific for Sven and his players.
Yeah, they've come back into this game. You know, they went in front. Bolton then played all the stuff through Campo, didn't panic, scored just at the right time, and now I think Vassell, who's run tirelessly all afternoon, has got his reward. They've gone 3-2 in front. Another cracking game. I mean, it's hard to see all the games all at once, but I've been impressed, particularly with Bolton, but Man City didn't panic under Sven. You know, with that leadership, he's got them back in it.
Yeah.
And Mark, well-played Spurs if they can get a win at Fratton Park. Unbeaten there so far this season, unbeaten in 11, going so well. Spurs only lost once under Wanda Ramos so far.
I know, but importantly, it looks like it's going to be their first away win of the season, which is coming into the Christmas period. It sounds ridiculous, but it'll be their, well, hopefully, there's still time to go, but looks like they could get their fourth win.
Spurs fans will enjoy the fact that Campbell
Scotland league leader Celtic play tomorrow. Second place Rangers trying to cut down the 5-point gap. Brian McLaughlin will bring us right up to date on Rangers' home game with Hearts at Ibrox.
And they're back on track to do so now, Ray. It's now Rangers 2, Hearts 1. Lee McCulloch with his second of the afternoon. But oh, what a howler it was from the Hearts goalkeeper, Eddie Kurskis. The former Wigan man, Lee McCulloch, swiped at the ball from 8 yards out. The ball went high into the Glasgow sky, safely into the hands of Eddie Kurskis. You would have thought it slipped through his fingers and into the back of the net. It's Rangers 2, Hearts 1.
Also on today's SPL fixture list, Motherwell versus Aberdeen. Ian Turner reporting.
3 minutes left, Motherwell 3, Aberdeen 0. 2 goals from Ross. Penalty and a Stephen McGarry diving header ensured Mark McGee's side had all 3 points tied up before the interval. The Dons have played much better in the second half as Motherwell have tended to sit back on what they have. It's 3 points to Motherwell. They lead 3-0.
They've won the last 5. Aberdeen now lost the last 3. In the Coca-Cola Championship, an early kick-off for West Bromwich Albion and Charlton, second and third in the table when the game got going. Sahil Sahi reporting.
A game which glowed and radiated heat for the full 90 minutes sent West Brom to the top of the Championship after a 6-goal spectacle. This match ebbed and flowed with both sides taking and then squandering the lead. 10 minutes remained and a point each seemed the likely scenario, but Chris Brunt had other ideas. He danced his way down the left and whipped in a devilish cross for Zoltan Gira to head in his second of the day. 5 minutes later, Kevin Phillips back in action after a 6-week injury layoff, slotted home what proved to be the winner. A humdinger of a football match to warm the cockles on a chilly afternoon. Full-time West Brom 4, Charlton 2.
Ipswich could be moving into a playoff place in the Championship because they've taken the lead at home to Scunthorpe by 3-2 and keeping their unbeaten home record intact. So West Bromwich Albion have gone top of the table. Let's hear from Vicarage Road where Watford are playing 9th place Plymouth. Can they respond and retake the leadership? Steve Lee.
Still 3 minutes to go. It's Watford 0, Plymouth 0. An emotional day here with Al Bangura, the 19-year-old Watford midfielder from Sierra Leone, facing deportation. There was a protest at half-time. He was in tears on the pitch. But Watford have failed to have an emotional lift from that. They've hit the post. Damian Francis had a shot save, and Plymouth have defended resolutely and looked dangerous on the break. It's 0-0 still.
West Bromwich Albion will stay top on goal difference as it stands. Bristol City are in the promotion race. Hamish Marshall is watching their home game with Cardiff, who turned up in 15th place in the table.
And Bristol City are winning by a goal to nil. It looks like they're going to go third with this win, but they've played all bar 15 minutes against 10 men. You may have expected a more convincing margin. Steve Thompson was sent off for a two-footed challenge by Uriah Rennie. It took Bristol City another 45 minutes to go in front after that. Marvin Elliott getting in at the back post. Cardiff, to their credit, have looked most threatening since going behind, but there's just a couple of minutes left.
Quite an afternoon. Blackpool are too near the relegation places for comfort. Stoke were in a playoff place when the game kicked off. Mark Bishop reporting.
Blackpool 1, Stoke City 3. Stoke have not lost in the league at Bloomfield Road, Ray, since 1964. And it's a ground which has proved rich pickings again for Tony Pullis's powerful side. They came back from a goal down from Michael Flynn, two superb efforts from Ricardo Fuller, and a bullet header from Leon Court. 2,000 Stoke fans have made the trip up here to the northwest, and they're going to go away very happy. Blackpool 1, Stoke City 3.
Ipswich had won 9 and drawn 1 of their 10 home games ahead of the afternoon's match at Portman Road. Scunthorpe looking for their first win in 10 games. Jared Young reporting.
And it's Ipswich who have the lead for the second time in the game, thanks to substitute Tommy Miller's well-taken free kick from 20 yards that he buried into the corner of the net. Ipswich Town 3, Scunthorpe United 2, and 3.5 minutes left to play.
A goal at Vicarage Road. Steve Lee.
Yes, it's gone to Plymouth. Watford 0, Plymouth 1 in the very last minute. David Norris has fired in at the far post after Barry Howes did really well on the right to get the ball across. A real kick in the guts for Watford that had all the possession in the last 10 minutes, but the goal's got to Plymouth. It's Watford 0, Plymouth 1.
What a setback for Watford. Defeated midweek ended a 6-game unbeaten run for Burnley. They're playing a Lancashire derby with bottom-of-the-table Preston. Dan Walker reporting.
And what a derby, Ray. The first half with goals from Carl Lafferty and Chris Sedgwick, just a warm-up for an epic second. Preston went ahead through Neil Mellor. Then Chris McCann made it 2-2 on the hour. 3 minutes later, he was sent off straight red for a two-footed lunge. And then 5 minutes to go, Simon Whaley, with the fourth official holding up his board, had a crack from 25 yards to put the bottom club Preston ahead again, 3-2.
Hull and Leicester have both lost their last 2 games ahead of the match that's being played at Hull's Casey Stadium. Latest news from Alan Biggs.
It's Hull City 2, Leicester City 0, and the Foxes free-falling towards the bottom 3. No complaints from them here, other than with a powder-puff performance. Caleb Folan shot Hull into a first-half lead, his first for the club. Dean Windass was the supplier, and it was he who was tripped for a second-half penalty. Windass took it himself and hit the post, but substitute Frazier Campbell was first to the rebound, and deservedly Hull lead Leicester 2-0.
That could be a vital goal for Hereford away at Bury from Theo Robinson in the 90th minute. Hereford kicking off in 4th place. In League One, only 1 point separated the top 4 clubs. League leader Swansea are playing Southend, who are 5 places below them, but only 2 points between the clubs. Tony Colliver reporting.
Yes, 2 minutes left. Swansea 3, Southend on the home side, all over the visitors. It was a tremendous chip shot from the far side, finding Thomas Butler, the substitute. He headed home from 5 yards out to make it 3-0. Swansea 3, Southend 0.
Late equaliser for Nottingham Forest Junior a go-go in the 90th minute will keep Forest, or rather they're trying to get into the automatic promotion places. Let's go to League Two. No doubt what the top game of the day is. Peterborough versus MK Dons, second versus first. The Dons had a 4-point lead going into the match. Andy Barwell's following the game for us.
Into the closing stages, Peterborough 1, MK Dons 2. In boxing terms, the MK Dons soaked up the pressure and hit the home side with sucker punches. The first, route 1, great skill though from Kevin Gallen. The second, clipped home by skipper Keith Andrews. A glimmer of hope for Peterborough though. Charlie Lee's shot hit the bar, Aaron McLean poked it home. The MK Dons down to 10 men. Drissa Diallo red-carded. The Dons though on the ropes, but they still lead 2-1.
Twists in the tails, maybe, of this afternoon's Barclays Premier League games. Who knows? To the city of Manchester Stadium, Damien Johnson.
Strains of Blue Moon echo round Eastlands. Manchester City still ahead. That goal in the second half from Darius Vassell has put them 3-2 up. Emil Penza had a great chance to make it safe for City a moment ago. Through on goal, but he fired straight at Isaacson in the Bolton. Jääskeläinen in the Bolton goal. It's 3-2 to City.
Rangers have beaten Hearts by 2-1. Are Portsmouth going to grab an equaliser? Roger Johnson.
I don't think so. Tottenham are closing it out here, having taken the lead through Dimitar Berbatov, and moments ago, right edge of the penalty area, Jermaine Defoe, who's looked bright since coming on as a substitute, rattled the angle of bar and post. Tottenham hanging on. We've got 90 seconds to play.
Stockport wrapped up the points in a derby away at Macclesfield. West Ham going to salvage anything? Dominic Cotton?
I don't think they are, Ray. No, they're really struggling and they haven't made much since I last spoke to you. It remains West Ham 0, Everton 1. Hayden Mullins has come off. Kyle Reid has come on as Alan Kirbishley gets his team to push for an equaliser. It could be vital. It doesn't look like it's coming to me.
Part of one, Dunfermline 1. Late goal at Crystal Palace. Let's see who scored it. It comes from Tony Lockwood.
The goal has been scored by Crystal Palace, and a substitute and one of a crop of youngsters here at Selhurst. Sean Scannell chipping Lee Grant in the Wednesday goal. It came deep in stoppage time. Morrison had levelled for Crystal Palace after Richard Hines had opened the scoring for Wednesday. Scannell's late goal. Looks like Palace will be unbeaten in 9. Palace 2, Wednesday 1.
1 win in 7 for Watford, beaten at home by Plymouth by 1-0. West Bromwich Albion, top of the Championship table. Final whistle has gone at Pride Park. Mark Webber's watching Derby against Middlesbrough. Derby, bottom of the table, 8 points from safety.
Nothing changes. Derby 0, Middlesbrough 1. God loves a trier, Ray, but it's becoming a bit obvious that Derby are more out of their depth in the Premiership than Jack Cousteau with a torn wetsuit in Atlantis. Nervous as kittens at the start, it took Tunkai's super volley from nowhere to put Borough in the lead and make Derby step up the pressure. They ran like whippets on pop, but the finishing was non-existent, save for Kenny Miller's post wobbler and Giles Barnes' shot into Schwarzer late on. Paul Jewell's home debut, not a panto, but hardly an Oscar winner. Derby 0, Middlesbrough 1.
Big win for fourth bottom Middlesbrough. Let's go to St Andrews. Birmingham against Reading. Reading arrived with 1 point from 21 away from home. Andrew James.
Make that 2, Ray, now. Birmingham 1, Reading 1. Disappointment for Birmingham manager Alec McLeish on his home debut. A goal up after 4 minutes through Mikel Forsell. Blues had more than enough chances to win the game and move above Reading in the table. But Matt Sadler's dreadful back pass at the start of the second half led to a penalty as Birmingham keeper Mike Taylor brought down Stephen Hunt. Hunt equalising from the spot kick. Harneman and his woodwork kept Birmingham at bay, but Reading by far the happier with this result. Birmingham 1, Reading 1.
0-0 at Loftus Road. Late equaliser for Leeds United through Alan Thompson away at Walsall. A goal of the City of Manchester Stadium. Damien Johnson.
The game's safe now for Manchester City. It's 4-2. Kelvin Atuhu, the second half substitute, in acres of space. A left wing ball he couldn't miss. City on course to retain their 100% home record in the Premier League.
Final whistle has gone in the Wigan-Blackburn game. Quite an afternoon for Harry Grayson.
Oh, Wigan were 3 up, Ray. Rovers got back on terms. Everton was sent off. That was a poor decision. And Wigan eventually pulled away. 2 hat-tricks. Marcus Bent for Wigan. Santa Cruz for Rovers. The other goals came from Lanzat and Sharna for Wigan. But the story of the game is the referee, Mr. Clattenburg. Not exactly a great display. And Mark Hughes is bound to be volcanic. And I think he's waiting for him at the moment.
Let's go to the Stadium of Light. Steve Sutton. Are they still playing? But news of maybe a disallowed goal?
Yes, Ray, a disallowed goal right in the very final minute of 3 minutes of added on time. There was a ball swung in from the left flank. There were about 4 or 5 Sunderland players at the far post of the Villa goal. One of them, not sure where he was, got ahead to it. But Steve Bennett disallowed the goal. That was right at the death. It's finished 1-1. Danny Higginbottom after 10 minutes for Sunderland in the first half. And then Sean Maloney with an exquisite free kick on 72 minutes. It's been football at a frenzied 100 mile an hour. Never pretty, always exciting. 43,000 in the ground. It sounded at times like 60,000. It's finished 1-1.
Well, that disallowed goal for Sunderland could be crucial come the end of the season.
Yeah, I have to say, I didn't think it was a foul. I think 2 or 3 players go up. I think it's Collins' defender who gets in just as the goalkeeper comes out. The referee disallows. He's getting booed all around the stadium. I can't see why. I don't think it was an elbow or anything on the keeper. I think the keeper just didn't get there.
Full-time whistle has gone at Fratton Park. Let's hear from Roger Johnson. Portsmouth against Spurs.
It's finished Portsmouth 0, Tottenham 1. A first away win of the season for Spurs. A first home defeat for Portsmouth, settled by Dimitar Berbatov's late goal. It was a well-judged far post header from Aaron Lennon's cross. Before that, there was little to choose between the sides. Substitute Nugent, Crenshaw and Montari all went close for Pompey. Tottenham had a first half goal disallowed for offside, and Defoe hit the post in stoppage time. The first Premier League goal here since September settled it for Spurs. They've beaten Portsmouth 1-0.
Manchester City have beaten Bolton by 4 goals to 0. A goal at Upton Park. Dominic Cotton.
Johnson on as a substitute. He's just killed this game off if it wasn't already over. Rob Green was off his line as West Ham went in search of that equaliser, and Johnson, quick as a flash, was onto the ball and looped the ball over Rob Green in the West Ham goal. So this game isn't over absolutely, but it's pretty much over. Everton lead by 2 goals to 0.
Everton unbeaten in 12. Great finish by Andy Johnson.
It is, but Robert Green seems to make his mind up for him. He's in no man's land.
No, I think it's a poor header from Matthew Upson. It's a poor back header. Green's out of his header to try and help him. Leaves him short. Good goal, good finish from Johnson.
To Everton, they just keep winning and winning, don't they?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
To the City of Manchester Stadium, Damien Johnson, Manchester City. Their home record, their unbeaten home record is intact.
It is Manchester City 4, Bolton 2. Darius Vassell's hardly had a mention during Sven's Manchester City revolution, but his tireless running and deftly taken first goal of the season helped preserve City's 100% home record in the Premier League. Rolando Bianchi put City ahead. El Hadj Diouf turned in an equaliser. Bolton were playing the better stuff as half-time approached, and skipper Kevin Nolan poked them in front. Bolton defender Lubo Michalik headed into his own net after half-time, and Nelka went close for Bolton. Johnson hit the post for City. Then Vassell struck. Kelvin Tutu's late goal made it safe. City march into the top 4.
And Brian McLaughlin is at a rare Ibrox this afternoon watching the Rangers-Hearts game for us.
But it finished Rangers 2, Hearts 1. A Lee McCulloch double securing the points for Rangers. His second goal coming just 5 minutes from time, ably assisted though by the Hearts goalkeeper Eduardas Kirkis, who had the blunder of all blunders when he let McCulloch strike from 8 yards slip through his hands. Who would be a goalkeeper? It finished at Ibrox. Rangers 2, Hearts 1.
Let's go to Upton Park. Final whistle has sounded in the West Ham-Everton game. Dominic Cotton reporting.
It's finished West Ham 0, Everton 2, and West Ham dominated the first half, but Everton's late goal rendered that meaningless. Yakubu profiting from sluggish defending to head in his 11th of the season. As you've just heard, substitute Andy Johnson killed the game off in stoppage time, looping the ball over a stranded Robert Green, and Alan Kirbishley must now deal with his team's West Ham hoodoo, Upton Park hoodoo, if they're to match their pre-season expectations. It's finished West Ham 0, Everton 2.
In the Championship at lunchtime, West Bromwich Albion beat Charlton by 4 goals to 2 to go top of the table. Watford could have responded. They let it slip at home to Plymouth. Steve Lee.
Yes, Watford 0, Plymouth 1, and Plymouth staged their smash and grab raid to perfection. David Norris nicking the points with a minute left after great work from Barry Howes. Watford huffed and puffed, but their golden autumn spell now seems at an end. 1 win in 7, not promotion form. Tommy Smith hit a post, Damien Francis went close, but Adi Boothroyd badly needs to get the train back on the rails. Watford 0, Plymouth 1.
All the results are just about in. Time for Tim Gudgin to confirm today's final scores.
In the Barclays Premier League, Birmingham City 1, Reading 1. Derby County 0, Middlesbrough 1. Fulham and Newcastle United have an evening kick-off. Manchester City 4, Bolton Wanderers 2. Portsmouth 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Sunderland 1, Aston Villa 1. West Ham United 0, Everton 2. Wigan Athletic 5, Blackburn Rovers 3. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Blackpool 2, Stoke City 3. Bristol City 1, Cardiff City 0. Burnley 2, Preston North End 3. Colchester United and Norwich City have an evening kick-off. Coventry City 1, Southampton 1. Crystal Palace 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Hull City 2, Leicester City 0. Ipswich Town 3, Scunthorpe United 2. Queen's Park Rangers 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Sheffield United 1, Barnsley 0. Watford 0, Plymouth Argyle 1. West Bromwich Albion 4, Charlton Athletic 2. Coca-Cola League 1, Bournemouth 1, Gillingham 0 is the latest score. Carlisle United 1, Leyton Orient 0. Hartlepool United 3, Crewe Alexandra 0. Huddersfield Town 2, Bristol Rovers 1. Millwall 2, Oldham Athletic 3. Nottingham Forest 2, Northampton Town 2. Port Vale 0, Tranmere Rovers 0. Swansea City 3, Southend United 0. Swindon Town 0, Brighton Hove Albion 3. Walsall 1, Leeds United 1. And in League 2, Accrington Stanley 2, Chesterfield 1. Bradford City's match with Rotherham United was postponed Bury 0, Hereford United 1. Darlington's match with Chester City postponed. Grimsby Town 1, Mansfield Town 0. Lincoln City 4, Barnet 1. Macclesfield Town 0, Stockport County 2. Peterborough United 1, Milton Keynes Dons 2. Rochdale and Notts County postponed. Shrewsbury Town 4, Dagenham and Redbridge 0. Wrexham 1, Brentford 3. Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Hibernian 1, Falkirk 1. Kilmarnock 3, Gretna 3. Motherwell 3, Aberdeen 0. Rangers 2, Hearts 1. St Mirren 0, Dundee United 3. The Ernbrew Scottish Division 1, Clyde 2, Livingston 1. Hamilton Academical 1, St Johnstone 0. Morton 0, Dundee 2. Partick Thistle 1, Dunfermline Athletic 1. Stirling Albion 1, Queen of the South 3. Scottish Second Division, Ayr United 0, Wraith Rovers 3. Brechin City 4, Airdrie United 2. Cowdenbeath 1, Alloa Athletic 4. Queen's Park 1, Peterhead 1. Ross County 2, Berwick Rangers 1. And Scottish Div 3, Albion Rovers 5, Arbroath 2. East Fife 2, Dumbarton 0. East Stirling 3, Elgin City 1. Montrose 0, Forfar Athletic 1. And Stranraer 2, Stenhousemuir 3. In the Welsh Premier, Aberystwyth 0, Airbus UK 0. Bangor City 2, Newtown 2. Casus and Haverfordwest match postponed. Carmarthen 0, Frill 0. Connors Quay 2, Llangefni Town 0. Neath 2, Portmarnock 1. Port Talbot 2, Carnarvon 1. Welshpool Town 3, Llanelli 3.
Late kick-off to tell you about in Coca-Cola League 1. Bournemouth 1, Gillingham 0. That is now a result. Bournemouth kicking off bottom of the table in League 1 today. We'll hear the thoughts of Mark Bright, Martin Keown and Garth Crooks in the light of today's results after we've looked at the updated league tables. And in the Barclays Premier League table, with last season's top 4 locking horns tomorrow, Manchester City move into a Champions League spot, courtesy of their win against Bolton. On form Everton go 6 after winning again at West Ham. 5 wins from 7 league games now for the Toffees. Portsmouth dropped to 7th after Tottenham ended their unbeaten record at Fratton Park this season. Villa, Blackburn and the Hammers remain in the top half despite failing to win today. Derby, 8 points from safety after losing to Middlesbrough. The Rams are now 6 behind Wigan, who remain second bottom despite victory today. Fulham, who kick off against Newcastle in a few minutes' time, drop into the bottom 3. Sunderland climb out of the relegation zone after drawing with Aston Villa. Borough moving up to 14th place. In the Coca-Cola Championship, West Bromwich Albion, the new leaders. They beat Charlton 4-2 at lunchtime. They're now a point ahead of Watford, who suffered a surprise home defeat to Plymouth. Wins for Bristol City and Stoke mean they both move up a place. Charlton slipped to 5th and Ipswich enter the playoff places after coming from behind to beat Scunthorpe. Preston beat 10-man Burnley to move off the bottom of the table and out of the relegation zone. Queen's Park Rangers earned a point against Wolves but will drop to the foot of the league if Colchester get a point against Norwich in this evening's late game. Leicester, Scunthorpe and Blackpool all lost to stay in the danger zone. League 1, Swansea are a point clear at the top after beating Southend today for their 4th victory in a row. Carlisle move up to 2nd after beating Leyton Orient, who slipped down to 4th. Nottingham Forest stay 3rd after their draw at home to Northampton. Bournemouth move off the bottom of the table after beating Gillingham. Luton, who lost to fellow strugglers Cheltenham last night, are now propping up the division. Port Vale drew at home to Tranmere Rovers and stay rooted in the relegation zone. Coca-Cola League 2. MK Dons 5 points clear after winning at Peterborough, who dropped to 3rd. Hereford got a late winner at Bury, while both Darlington and Rotherham's matches were postponed due to frozen pitches. Here's the bottom. Mansfield now 4 points from safety after losing at Grimsby. They remain the only club in the division without an away win. Wrexham stay in the bottom 2 after losing to managerless Brentford. Dagenham remain in trouble after a heavy defeat at Shrewsbury. And in the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, leader Celtic visit Inverness tomorrow, where victory would take them 5 points clear. Rangers made no mistake against Hearts today, winning 2-1 at Ibrox. Third place Motherwell made it 5 wins in a row against Aberdeen, while Hibs were held by Falkirk. Gretna missed out on their first away win in the top flight, drawing 3-3 at Kilmarnock. They stay bottom, 9 points behind St Mirren, who lost to Dundee United. With managers and players emerging from their dressing rooms, lots of post-match reaction on the way. After this summary of the top football stories of the day. Steve Bruce gets his first win as Wigan boss, as the Latics hold off Blackburn in an 8-goal thriller. Manchester City preserve their perfect home record. Sven's men make it 9 wins from 9 against Bolton and go 4th. Tottenham and Portsmouth's unbeaten record of Fratton Park. Dimitar Berbatov, the hero for Spurs. Deja blues for West Ham as Everton win at Upton Park for the second time in 4 days. Tunkai provides Borough with Turkish delight. 7 defeats in a row for Derby, though. Alex McLeish was denied a first Birmingham win as manager as Stephen Hunt's penalty earns the Royals a point. Sunderland move out of the relegation zone after holding Aston Villa to a draw. And just to say, Premier League highlights, all the goals, all the saves from all the games. Match of the day, 10:30 tonight on BBC One. Well, Manchester City, terrific at home, and Sven-Göran Eriksson has shown just what he's capable of doing at club level.
Well, first of all, I've got to say, Ray, every game today has something to watch and something in it. So match of the day is a much watch. But the game against Man City Bolton, for me, was special in as much that Sven-Göran Eriksson has got a team playing in a continental style, if you like. Interestingly, he couldn't impose that on the players when he had the England set up. It'd be interesting to see whether Capello can do something slightly different. But that game, Man City Bolton, and the Wigan Blackburn were 2 fantastic games for me today.
Yeah. Martin, will today's result for Wigan be a springboard for them to go on to greater things? Because they were 3-0 up, all of a sudden it's 3-3, they come back, they eventually win the game.
Yeah, I mean, all the emotions in that game today. Went 3-0 up, very comfortable. Suddenly Blackburn scored just before half-time. They scored just the other side of half-time, go down to 10 men, and then pull it back to 3-3. And at that point, you know, Blackburn, were they going to try and win it? Or, in the end, Wigan get in front again. But, you know, you're looking at Blackburn, they responded. You saw a Mark Hughes-like performance, really, from them. A lot of character. But Wigan can be well pleased with that result today.
Mark Clattenburg played a bigger part in that game than he should have done.
Yeah, he had a nightmare today. And I think at the end of the... I'm sure Mark Hughes is in his ear at this very moment.
Sunderland won, Aston Villa won. Yeah. Disallowed goal for Sunderland at the end of the game. Could that be crucial at the end of the season? Should it have counted?
Well, every point's crucial for the teams who get promoted. And, you know, it'd be really interesting to see what Roy Keane's got to say, because I've had a good look at it. Set pieces, Higginbottom scored in the first half, great set piece. In the second half, Danny Collins scored a header. I couldn't see what was wrong with it.
Let's hear from the Sunderland manager, Roy Keane, now. He's with Guy Mowbray.
Roy, let's tidy up the very end of the game first. Should you have been awarded a winner?
There's nothing to tidy up. There's absolutely nothing to tidy up. Referee's robbed. He's made a decision here. 40,000 Sunderland fans. You know, it's the fans that, you know, I feel sorry for, because they deserve better than that. And I can't believe he's given a decision. Well, I can, because it sums up his day. He's, you know, our players deserve better than that. To give a decision like that, you know, to say we're disappointed would be an unbelievable understatement.
Has the ref explained his view of it to you?
Of course he hasn't, no.
So disappointed is a massive understatement today.
Very much so. You know, all we're asking for is fairness in this game. We've had plenty of decisions go against us, and we've had some go for us, don't get me wrong. And obviously, over the course of a season, you'd like to think these things will even themselves out. I've heard enough managers say that, and again, I've only been a manager for 2 minutes. But for him to give that decision today was... But it summed up his day, really, I have to say. He was given everything against us. Even on the stroke of half-time, we get a corner, everyone gets into position, he blows the whistle, and I said to him at half-time, well, why let everybody go up? And then at the end, even when the ball was going in, you could just sense, we've just seen it again on screen there, and he's waiting to blow his whistle to give a foul, waiting. And, you know, it'd be nice to see him later.
I think that's the first time this season Roy Keane has really started to say anything critical about referees. It just shows how important it is, and sort of things are starting to get tense.
Well, Mark called it absolutely right. We've listened to what Roy Keane says. Roy Keane agrees with him. I've seen the incident, and Steve Bennett couldn't have got it more wrong. Carson doesn't win the ball. Remember, goalkeepers have got their arms as well. They can jump. They should be winning the ball. He's out-jumped. They score a perfectly good goal.
It highlights that every point is precious in the Premier League, even at this stage of the season. And I think points in December, the games clock up. By Christmas, you can sort of really get yourself in a good position, or you're stirring up big, big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Roy Keane will know the importance of that. And, you know, they were desperate to win this match today. They've climbed out of the bottom three with a point, but they really need to make their home advantage count.
Absolutely.
And that's, you know, points gone by. You know, difficult game for them, but you know, they'll be disappointed tonight.
Well played Middlesbrough. Beat Arsenal last week, got a draw in the game before. A 1-0 away win to strugglers Derby today was absolutely vital. There's their manager Gareth Southgate with Dan O'Hagan.
Gareth, a second successive win and an all-round good performance for your side today.
Yeah, pleasing. I think to follow up last weekend's performance with another win was crucial. We didn't play as well today. But when you're away from home and there's so much resting on the game, I think we were a little bit more anxious than we were last week. But the one moment of real quality in the game has won it for us.
I was going to say the goal was real quality from Tunche, a player in great form for you at the moment as well.
Yeah, he's full of confidence. You know, since he got his goal at Reading, you can see he's able to run that much further. He's got an extra spring in his step, and that was a fantastic finish and worthy of winning the match.
He's in great form. Oh, are we seeing him at his best now, or is there more to come from him, do you think?
Well, we're certainly seeing the player that we knew was there, and it's hard for people to adjust to the league. And if the last few weeks has seen him settle and adjust, then it's probably earlier than some other players settle. But you know, he's been very bright for us. He's a great kid to work with, and the amount of enthusiasm that he brings to the side and his work ethic was very important for us today.
Back-to-back wins important too.
Yeah, it is. I think in this division, in the lower half of the league especially, you know, teams haven't been able to get one win, and to get two in a row is significant for us, and we have to keep following that up now.
7 out of 9 for Middlesbrough. They pushed up to 14th. It's a vital win today.
Absolutely. As we said before, when you beat one of the top 4 teams, it's unexpected points. So you don't have to lose your next game, especially against someone like Derby. You have to back that up. Otherwise, you might spin it the other way around, lose against Arsenal and beat Derby. But he was under pressure a few weeks ago. And as we said, when you lose people like Viduka and Yakubu, you know, in the closest... Yeah. Oh, it's crucial, you know, and I'm really pleased for Gareth as well.
It's great to see a young England manager, you know, in the making, really. We've got one, and we really should be pushing him along and protecting him, but he's rode the storm. It's a difficult period for him.
He's come through a difficult time,
this now.
Yeah.
It's a results-based industry, though, Martin. It's a results-based.
Of course, but
he's come through a difficult time.
Yeah, Tunkai started to do well for him, isn't he?
Great strike, and all credit to him because, as Mark says, Yakubu and Viduka have gone. Tunkai can perhaps replace those goals.
And no doubt the big story of the week, and earlier today, the Football Association's Director of Football Development, Sir Trevor Brookings, spoke about the appointment of Fabio Capello as the next England manager. He confirmed a number of overseas coaches had been viewed as potential candidates for the job, including the former Chelsea coach Jose Mourinho.
You get to a stage where you get into a nitty-gritty now. Are you actually going to be interested in this job? And in the end, Jose wasn't. We didn't meet with him. We had discussions with 1 or 2 parties, and they were kept on a similar par during a 7-day period. And in the end, we did meet Fabio. We agreed the decision and the agreement, and we've appointed him. And there's no question he was the only one at that time and any time that was directly given the opportunity to meet with us and get an agreement. And now he's been appointed. So yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that Brian has got the man that he wanted. What is right up there alongside is, so what do we do in the future, and how are we going to change that? Because I believe long term we should have English coaches. I've always said that, and I've been saying that for the last 2 or 3 years. I think we're in a situation now where we have to use this situation, and we have to use Fabio's massive knowledge. He's got knowledge of a variety of different countries and structures and how they develop their players. Now, if we can't suck that out of him and his backup team during that time, then we want Pillar in, because we have an opportunity which we haven't had before. We have a new deal going in, kicking into our organisation next summer, which brings in a significant amount of money. We need to invest that in the next 5 years to make sure we have an infrastructure of young players and young coaches across this country that has never had that support system in the past. And we will never change the situation we find ourselves now unless we decide to invest that.
Garth, what does this appointment say about the English coaching structure?
when the Football Association appoint 5 coaches to look after the national team, the English national team, and there's not one English coach amongst them, and you ask me, where is English coaching? I'll tell you where it is. It's a meltdown.
What's your reaction to this appointment, Martin?
Well, obviously, you know, now the appointment's been made, I think it's, you know, he's a top manager. You can't dispute that. You know, what we're worried about is for the future. And, you know, the Italians, if we're going to have this Italian culture, how far does it spread down the line? Does it spread to the 21s? Does it go to the 19s, 18s? Because in the next 4 years, some of those 21s will be playing in the first team. And it's important that they pick up the habits that Capello will want to put into the players.
I get the impression that a lot of England fans want a general sergeant major type figure to actually instill something into the English players. The perception of English fans that there's more discipline needed for whatever reason. Do you go along with that?
Yeah, I think so, because, you know, last year, 2006, Stubbs, we thought we had a great chance of winning the World Cup. The year after, with virtually the same squad, we can't qualify for the European Championship. A lot of fans think that the team needs whipping into shape. I don't think so. I just think we have the talent. Is this the man who can connect with the players enough to get them into a winning mentality? Just had a quick count there. I think there's 8 English managers in the Premier League.
Garth, £6.2 million a year. Do you agree with the level of contract that Fabio Capello and his team are getting? How should the money be spread around English football?
If Capello wins the World Cup for England, give him 10. I don't care whatever it takes. But I just sense at this moment in time, the way the FA have responded is like changing the deck chairs on the Titanic.
Now, tomorrow's going to be a big day too, isn't it? Sort of Arsenal against Chelsea. Which way do you see that one going? And also, sort of course, Liverpool against Manchester United.
Well, Arsenal formidable at home, aren't they? And that's going to be a really entertaining game. Obviously, Ashley Cole going back there. You know,
yes, yeah.
The Boo Boys will be ready for him. Great games, Stubbsy. You know, for some reason, I just think Chelsea can upset Arsenal.
Garth, what do you feel about the 2 results there?
The 2 results of?
Arsenal-Chelsea, Liverpool-Manchester United.
I think Man United will beat Liverpool, and I think Arsenal will beat Chelsea.
A quick reminder now that with midweek football coming up, a score service will run next Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday night via the Red Button or via the BBC Sport website from 7:30. And today's score service continues now via the Red Button. All the results and the latest league tables will cycle on the screen. Mark, Martin and Garth will offer their opinions on today's results. We'll continue to hear from managers and players as they emerge from their dressing rooms. This is where we have to say goodbye to BBC One viewers. It's bye for now.